What is going on, guys? We are back. C Moody, as always, here with
D Moody,
and we are Sports Moods. We have recapped everything from Week 9 NFL, college football, playoff picture, WWE, MLB, NBA. Now we're going to give our predictions. 2 Moodies,
1 Duty,
sports. Let's get into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Sports Moods. Another big thank you to DJ ROWELL for joining us and helping us out on that NBA segment.
Definitely.
Always good to hear and see him. Good to hear from him and always good to see him as well. Also, too, just wanted to throw out there a quick update. The college football playoff rankings have been released. Prior to covering the college football segment that we had, we didn't know what the top 4 would look like this week. It is now out. It is the same as last week. So you got number 4, Clemson. You have number 3, Notre Dame, who's going to have a tough matchup this weekend with the undefeated Miami Hurricanes. So then you got number 2, Big Bad Bama, and number 1, the Georgia Bulldogs. So if the college football playoff were to start today, those would be your 4 teams that were in it. So we still got a couple weeks to go to determine who is going to be in that Final 4 for college football. Now, switching guards to the NFL, Week 10 picks, we do know that me, D Moody, right here, is now in the lead on the season. And I'm not relinquishing the lead. It's mine. I've given C Moody half the season to try to take off and leave me in the dust. He has failed to do so, so I had to do what I had to do and take the lead on him. And I'm just going to run away with it. It's a runaway train at this point. All aboard right now.
All right, we're going to see. We're going to see, man. So I'm going to go ahead and get to Thursday night. Seattle Seahawks are going to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Seahawks 5-3, Cardinals are 4-4. And the Cardinals last week, I mean, they played 0-8 49ers, whereas the Seahawks lost. Had an upset against Washington. So what do you have coming in?
Short week for Russell Wilson and company. I still think it's enough time for them to fix that. Arizona is a hobbled team at this point, but you do have Adrian Peterson. You can't not think he's not going to have an impact on the game.
Right.
Drew Stanton is an experienced backup in the league. You know, he's not a world beater of a quarterback who can just go up and down the field on you, but I do think he needs to have a good mix of running pass to have a mediocre night. But I still don't think it'll be enough for the Cardinals to take down the Seahawks. I'm going to go with Seattle to win this game.
Yeah.
Back victory.
I'm going with you on that. I believe more in the components that the Seahawks have, and like you said, the Cardinals are just having a few pieces left after, so many people out with injury and whatnot. And Adrian Peterson can't do it all by himself.
That's true.
So next game we have, I'm going to go ahead and get into this one just because I'm hyped about my team with their 51. Put your team,
you never go down the list.
But you got to understand, I'm reading them off of my ESPN, and because that's my favorite, they always show up first. So I have to go with what shows up first. So I'm gonna let you tell. No. After this,
I'd rather go ahead and get it out the way.
Yeah, we're gonna get it out the way and get into your list. So I got the Texans going into LA to take on the Rams. The Rams are 6-2, having a very convincing win over the Giants, and the Houston Texans that, as we know, is out. Well, without Deshaun Watson as well as J.J. Watt from the beginning of the season.
Rams will win this game by many. I'm just not a firm believer in Tom Savage. He had a mediocre day through his first career touchdown pass last week, and he's had several starts in this league, a couple of starts to at least have at least one touchdown pass on his resume. Going up against the Rams, who are a team that can put the points up on the board, they can beat you in a lot of different ways. They can stretch the field by throwing it deep. They can run it, balance it out with a run and pass. Jared Goff looked really good last week, despite the fact that it's against the Giants here. But I still think they'll handle the Texans here. I think they win easily.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and get to the next game so we can start going down the list.
Yeah, I pulled up. I'm glad we got that out of the way. I'm very glad.
Now back to your scheduled program.
Back to the regular schedule. We're back from commercial break here. Come back. So glad you all could join us. New Orleans Saints versus Buffalo Bills. Now I've been teetering and tottering all week with this pick, and the only reason I know the Saints, I've been really big on them this season. They've won 6 in a row after an 0-2 start. They're doing a lot of great things with Drew Brees and the running game and the defense, and I understand all that. But they're on the road here. Buffalo's a tough little testy team here, and the Saints are not always known for playing well outside in the elements in Buffalo. I mean, just in general, whether it's Buffalo or any northern team where where the weather is a factor or it can be a factor, where it's cold outside. This is a dome team where you're in a controlled climate and you're playing outside in the elements. And that's the only reason here, which I feel they can win this game. But I'm going to go with Buffalo to win this football game just because of that.
Okay.
And I think this will be kind of not a reality check for the Saints, but I do think it's a loss to go ahead and, bring us back down to earth and let's finish the season strong. But I think the Bills win this one.
I like everything you said, but now I'm going to give you a little bit of stats about the previous encounters between the Bills and the Saints. The last time they played, 2013, the Saints beat them 35-17. The last time they played in Buffalo is in 2009. The Saints beat them 27-7.
What was the time of year, though?
2009.
I'm saying, was it
week 3?
That's early in the season. It ain't cold. It ain't.
2013 was in week 8, but they were in the dome. They were in the dome. So I think
the Saints would win. I think the Saints are going to win this game, but just for the sake of trying to pick it, you don't
want your title.
I want my title. That's why I'm getting creative with it. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I know the Saints will probably win this game. But I just feel like, if anything, Buffalo coming off that embarrassing loss, they're going to want to play better at home. They've had the extra few days to prepare for the game because they played Thursday. So they have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, extra rest. I think Buffalo can edge this out. I think they can do some things here to win this game. I just feel like the weather has always
been a factor.
The factor for those dome teams, and that's the only thing. Even though I know I'm probably going to miss this pick, but
it's okay. I'll take it for you though. I'm
trying to open the door for you.
Hey, I appreciate it. Okay, I've been slacking these past few weeks, clearly. So what's the next game you have on the helm?
Green Bay versus Chicago. So both of these teams are kind of in a rut right now. Chicago surprised us a lot with some wins over Pittsburgh, Carolina, and Baltimore. All 3 contending teams right now. We know Green Bay's situation without Aaron Rodgers. So just for the sake of picking, I'm going to go with Green Bay. I think they end this streak. I do. I like Chicago and what they're doing, and they can show that they can win in many different ways by special teams or defense or whatever. But Hundley he didn't have a bad game this past week. It's just the fact that the defense they're not showing up, and he's still got players that need to show up and play for him. You still have Jordy Nelson available. You still have Devontae Adams. You still have Randall Cobb. You still have a solid receiving core around you. They need to really do what makes his quarterback comfortable to get those guys involved in the game. There's no reason why I feel like by him being a backup that those guys should still not be a factor in what they're doing. We just saw DeAndre Hopkins last week with Deshaun Watson being out. Tom Savage hit him for six receptions, 86 yards, and a touchdown for DeAndre Hopkins. So I still think these other playmakers for Green Bay need to step up and support this young quarterback and help him.
I got you. I'm going Chicago.
I know you would go. I know you'd go with Chicago. I felt it.
And just because I feel like, even though, like you said, Brian Hundley has had a good performance, I feel like the Bears, even though the Bears are a 3-5 team, They're not a horrible 3-5 team. Their defense is still really pretty good. Their offense is pretty much the biggest catalyst to what makes them 3-5, hit and miss a lot of games. And I think their defense is going to put enough pressure on to Brian Hundy, like you said, with the receiver and core not showing up. It's going to do enough to make the difference.
Okay.
So that's who I have. I'm going to get into this next game. Have the Cleveland Browns going into Detroit to take on If You Believe in Matthew and the Detroit Lions. And the Lions are 4-4, and the Browns are 0-8.
I'm going Detroit for obvious reasons. It's Cleveland.
Okay.
I mean, even Matthew can look good against them.
Oh, wow.
You can't look good against Cleveland, and I don't know who you can look good against. Now, if they lose this game, best believe I am going to rip him a new one next week.
I was going to say, if they lose to the Browns, I won't believe in Matthew anymore.
Okay.
I truly won't. If
they win every game and go on to win the Super Bowl after they lose it?
They have to win the Super Bowl for me to believe in Matthew again.
For you to believe
they have to get to the Super Bowl for me to believe in Matthew again.
Okay.
But if they lose this game, I'm not believing in them.
Okay. So you're going to go...
I'm going Detroit.
Okay.
I'm definitely believing in Matthew.
I think they should handle it.
Yeah, it should be a good win for them.
Okay.
So the next game I have Pittsburgh coming off of their bye week 6-2, going into Indianapolis to take on the 3-6 Colts. It's pretty obvious. I mean, the Steelers are looking like the Steelers of old. They're, Super Bowl run winning teams, and their dominance on all levels. They got Ben Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell. They have their big triple B's or whatever. I forgot what you might have called them. I don't know.
The triple, it could be triple B's.
Triple
you got
Bs.
Bell, Brown, and Ben.
Yeah, but I think I'm mixing them with your killer B's, Brady and Belichick.
So Brady and Belichick.
So
they got some B's.
Yeah, they have their
too.
B's over there too,
and they look like B's with the black and yellow.
Exactly.
But I think Pittsburgh gets the job done here against the Colts. The Colts have shown me some stuff in spite of Luck being gone. They are competing. They're and I really feel like it's really good for Brissett to really get his skill set going to develop what type of quarterback he wants to be, and then he'll be ready in another situation if he may not stay with Indy or wherever else he goes and the quarterback goes down, he could step in. But I'm not saying as a quarterback you want to be a backup your whole life. You do want to be the guy leading the team, but I think this experience for him has been a really good one.
Yeah, definitely. And I even think like next year, depending on how healthy Luck comes back next year, which they said he's good now. It's just mental thing.
It's a mental thing at this point. Am I going to re-injure myself And
I think the comfort that they should put Jacoby Brissett in more games next year. Just like if he starts to kind of worry about something, he might have tweaked something. It's not serious, but we don't have to worry about it because now we have an experienced Jacoby Brissett, and he can play and still have a good game and still maintain, especially by them letting him play throughout the rest of the season and hopefully don't let go of him.
Yep.
So go ahead with the next game, man.
So you took Pitt on that too?
Yeah, I'm going Pittsburgh. Definitely.
All right, next game I have is Cincinnati versus Tennessee.
Okay.
Cincinnati got a little boisterous last week. The boisterous Bengals. Tennessee got a nice little win last week as well over Baltimore. So I'm going to go with Tennessee to win this game. I like the energy around the Titans. They're streaking right now, and we're not really saying much. If the playoffs were to start today, they would be in. I like the energy around this team. I like what they're doing. Cincinnati is just that team that I just don't expect much from this season. I mean, and they're not mathematically eliminated from anything, but they definitely do need to go on a run if they hope to have any hopes of making the playoffs. But I think Tennessee's a better team at this point in the season. And they're going to win.
Okay, I'm calling upset. Like I say, I do like the Titans. Like I said, I have nothing but high praises for Marcus Mariota and his performance. But for me, if the Cincinnati can really pull off another win right now, it would be against kind of an inconsistent, new kind of rookie or kind of novice caliber offensive front of the Titans, as well as their defensive front. Their defensive front isn't really as promising. It's really just the work of the offense that gets them there. The defense does enough to be moderate to be a decent caliber, but I feel like the Bengals, if anything, especially with their little brawl they had this past week, maybe they actually fuel it into football energy and not just hands.
It could.
So I'm going to take that risk game for the upset with the Bengals.
Okay. Next game I have is the Washington Redskins versus the Minnesota Vikings. This ought to be a pretty good game here. I took Washington over Minnesota.
Wow.
I think Cousins will have a big game. I think he'll come out and play well. If they can take care of the football and get some good energy going, get a good mix of run and pass going. Minnesota's a good team. I'm not doubting Case Keenum. He's been playing really well this year. He has. And then they're running attack with Latavius Murray stepping up, and then you have McKinnon doing some good things too. Thielen. So Minnesota has some good pieces there, and it's their destiny to win this division. So they can't ill afford any slip ups because the Lions could come roaring back in that division. They have a lot of winnable games, and Minnesota has a tougher schedule down the stretch than Detroit does. So I'm going to go Washington to upset them here and win it.
And you know what's funny? In the last 3 games that they've had against each other, the home team has won.
Yeah.
So Minnesota's won 2013 Week 10, 2014 Week 9, and 2016 Week 10, Washington was home. Washington won. I feel like this is 2 different teams, or I at least feel like the Vikings are a different team. Mm-hmm. And for that, I'm giving Case Keenum the advantage.
Okay.
And I feel like, Vikings haven't really had as good of a quarterback of Case Keenum in a while.
I mean, they had. Sam Bradford's been okay.
But he was inconsistent.
And then you had,
which Sam Bradford was from the Rams.
Sam Bradford, and what's my other guy's name? Geno Smith. Not Geno Smith. I cannot say his name right now.
I don't know. I don't know who you're talking about.
He went to Louisville. I may have to look. I'm so sad that I don't know his name.
I don't know.
He's injured. I mean, he got Teddy Bridgewater. That's his name. I could not think of his name. I don't know why it took me so long to get that.
Yeah, but Teddy Bridgewater was good because he was kind of a dual threat.
Yeah, he could run.
That's what made
He actually was doing really good before he got injured. So.
But pocket passing, Case Keenum's probably the best they've had since Brett Favre came for that last run.
The last little run he had.
Yeah, definitely.
And Dante Culpepper.
Okay, yeah. No, definitely.
He was all right.
Definitely, Dante. I like Dante Culpepper, actually. So, all right, I'm going to get into this next game. I'm going to go ahead and look at the LA Chargers taking on Jacksonville Jaguars, and they're playing in Jacksonville. 5-3 Jaguars versus the 3-5 Chargers. To say the least, I don't know, honestly. That's kind of hard, actually, now that I couldn't even finish that sentence because it's like, Phillip Rivers is always best during the middle of the season. Like I said, he's always a good regular season quarterback, but he starts to make his runs ending the season. So if I had to go with one, just because I'm going Jaguars, I gotta be confident in the Jaguars against the 3-5 Chargers. I mean, Blake Bortles doesn't have much to worry about with the defensive core of the Chargers. So if they can at least get Leonard Fournette the run game so they can mix it up and Blake Bortles has more openings down the field, they should win this game. And if it goes into a shootout between Phillip Rivers and Blake Bortles, I might be in trouble. But the Jacksonville Jaguars has an excellent defense this year.
They do.
So
they
I mean,
the league in sacks
and the Chargers have moderately been known for at least protecting Phillip Rivers. Some points, but it's not the best, and I don't feel like they can withstand Jacksonville defensively as far as protecting Phillip. He's going to score because it's Phillip Rivers, but in the long run, I see Jacksonville. You're going Chargers, yeah. Okay.
The Jaguars have been they've been. Don't get me wrong, they've been playing really good football this year. Their defense is
but they're not a
playing
consistent
phenomenally.
Team.
But it's Phillip.
Yeah.
And this is his time of year.
That's what breaks my heart about making this pick.
He starts to turn it on. I think this will be a good signature win for them against a contending team to kind of get there. They were on a roll until they ran into New England last week, and New England had to barely get through there. So we think about the Chargers are 3-5. what, 5?
3 and 5.
But I mean, a lot of those losses were at the end of the game, or
right. It was never a
2 or
convincing
3
loss.
point difference, or 4 or 5 point difference.
Yeah,
for them. So I'm going Phillip Rivers. I think Melvin Gordon has a really good game, and that'll give Phillip Rivers some opportunities to do some stuff. Hunter Henry, their tight end, is a sneaky tight end, so you have to keep an eye on him. I think the Chargers win it.
Okay. I can see that. I mean, definitely Phillip Rivers against the secondary of the defense for the Jaguars, he's going to take advantage of it. So it's really, for me, it's going to be based on whether or not the line and the linebackers can get to Phillip Rivers. Because if they let him throw down the field, he's going to put it in there.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I got you. I respect that. I respect that play. So, next game I have New York Jets versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers are 2-6. And the Jets are 4-5. They are playing in Tampa Bay. Who do you have?
I got the Jets winning this game. I think they got a lot of momentum going after that win over Buffalo. I think that could be a win to get them going. Tampa Bay without Jameis Winston this week. It's just been a rough time in Tampa. I mean, this was a team that was 2-2, a while back, and they've lost 4 in a row. I think it goes to 5. And I think we're going to go with the Jets to win. I like what McCown is doing. Forte, hopefully he can continue his performance. Because I know he was complaining about not getting enough touches, but hopefully they can keep feeding him the rock and then getting things going. I'm going with the Jets.
Okay. I like that. You want to get into the next game?
Who do you take?
I'm going with you. I'm going with the Jets. I'm sorry, I didn't even say that.
Yeah, I was say, who do you?
My bad. I didn't even pick somebody. Yeah, I'm going with the Jets. Definitely. Okay. I agree. Without Jameis Winston, they were already playing basic football with Jameis.
Yeah.
So without him, definitely.
Next game, I got the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, versus the Atlanta Falcons.
Ooh.
Falcons.
The Falcons?
Yeah. They are flawed, man.
So disrespectful.
They are flawed at this point, man. I like what Dallas is doing with Zeke and Prescott. They were on a 3-game winning streak. Right now, Atlanta, they'll get leads in games and can't hold them. The offense is really just not that offense that we're used to seeing. The defense is not the same from last year. Matt Ryan is, already averaged as many turnovers as he did all of last season. The new offensive coordinator that replaced Kyle Shanahan, Steve Sarkisian, he's known as an offensive mastermind, but it's just not working. Maybe it's a work in progress where it takes time to really get it all to mesh together, but right now it just does not look good at all. I'm going to go with Dallas to win this game.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Even if the unfortunate event happens and they finally suspend Ezekiel Elliott, I still feel like Derek Carr and the offense as well as the defense, I feel like their defense will be able to take a inconsistent Matt Ryan this year with, he still has some good receivers. I mean, Julio Jones, of course. They might not. Julio Jones is going to get off. I'm going to say that much on it. Their defense isn't going to be able to hold Derek Carr, though. I'm going Cowboys. I'm going Dallas. And I feel like, in reverse, the Dallas Cowboys will be able to maintain Matt Ryan.
You were saying Derek Carr. You trying to say Dak Prescott?
Dak Prescott.
I don't know. You were saying Derek Carr.
I don't know what I'm. Oh, I'm thinking of the Raiders.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're good, man. I was like, huh? I was like, okay.
Light skinned quarterbacks and black teams. It's like, man, I don't know. But yeah, I feel like Matt Ryan gets under 300 yards passing this game.
Okay.
Because of defense.
Next game I have is the Something's Gotta Give Bowl. The Giants versus the San Francisco 49ers.
Something's Gotta Give Bowl. That is hilarious.
I'm serious, man. Like, the Giants 1-7, the 49ers are 0-9. Somebody got to win.
Yeah, somebody got to.
And if not, the 49ers are going 0-10. Then you're going to start hearing whispers. Are they going to go 0-16 like the Lions did?
Really?
Years back?
Really?
Yeah, so...
How you feel?
Okay. I don't think they go 0-6. I think they'll get a win, but it won't be this week. I think the Giants will find a way to... I think it's going to be an ugly game.
To say the least.
Not a lot of flash and star power here. I'm going to go with the Giants just because of Eli and his experience to win it.
I don't want to believe that this team is going to go 0-10. I don't. You see, I gave them the surprise upset last week, and that game was an ugly game against the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. So if they could lose by 10 to the Cardinals, and this being the 1-7 Giants, without really any receiving core for Eli Manning, I mean, Eli Manning is still going to do what he needs to do. Mm-hmm. But I'm taking another chance at San Fran.
You believe in the 49ers?
I don't. I really don't. But it's just something. There's something has to break. That's
why I say something's got to give, man.
It does. You're right.
Something's got to give eventually.
Well put, man. Because I just can't see them going 0-10, even though they really don't have any piece for them to be any kind of victorious. But I guess I just want to see them get a win. Like,
gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, next game I have the reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl champion New England Patriots going to Denver now. Keep in mind, Denver's the only team in NFL history Tom Brady has a losing record to.
Oh, wow.
He struggles when he goes to play in Denver. And for the schedule makers, it seems like every year we play Denver, we have to go to Denver. When are they going to come play us in Foxborough? We haven't played them in Foxborough, I think, since 2014.
Could be.
And this is a team that we've played consistently every year because of the rivalry. When Peyton was there, obviously, Brady versus Manning. And then they did beat us in 2 AFC championship games. But this is different. I think New England wins it. I think Tom exercises his demons in Denver at Mile High. We're still going up against a tough defense, though, but I think Brady has a lot more at his disposal. He's going up against Brock Osweiler again. Last year, Brock Osweiler beat him on the Sunday Night Football game. It was a snowy game. It went to overtime, and Denver won. And I have vivid memories of that game.
Little nightmares.
Yeah, nightmarish memories. So I'm going to go. Well, no, that was the year before last. Because last year we played against Simeon, and we beat him in Denver last year. So the year before last is when we played Osweiler.
Gotcha.
But I'm going to go with New England to win still the same, whether it's Simeon, whether it's Osweiler, whether it's John Elway, or whoever they want to bring back to play at quarterback position.
Wow.
To win.
Okay. I mean, that was a little bit arrogant. Maybe want to change my answer. But yeah, I'm going New England. I definitely.
Who's that?
New England. I'm going with the Patriots.
Wow.
Patriots win this game.
You gotta say it so excitingly.
The New England Patriots are going to win this game convincingly against the Denver Broncos. I must admit, that's it. I mean, I don't expect much from the Broncos to beat the Killer Bees, as you say. Mm-hmm. Oh, it feels so weird to say that.
The Killer Bees, Brady and Belichick.
Just all right to beat the Patriots. That's what it is.
All right, and the final game we have for Sunday Night Football in Charlotte, close to home here for us. Cam and the Panthers going to be hosting Jake Cutler and the Miami Dolphins. Who do you have? No, it's Monday Night Football. Yeah, Monday Night Football. Who do you got?
I'm going Panthers.
Me too. I went Carolina on this for obvious reasons. I think this is a good, nice little soft game to have on the schedule.
Right.
To get you over to the next week. Miami is going in the wrong direction. They played pretty tough against Oakland last week. I will give them that. But I still think Cutler, that offense is yet to get a rushing touchdown on the season. It's just not a lot of good stuff going on right now for the Dolphins. And I'm going to go Carolina. They're out to prove that they're still relevant. I know they had a couple of rough weeks here and there in the middle of the season, so now we're at the stretch run of things, and I think they're going to be in playoff contention.
Yeah. Okay.
So, all hearts and minds are clear. That makes us complete NFL Week 10 picks. As we know, I have a 3-game lead. Yes, this is not public service announcement. D Moody has a 3-game lead over C Moody on the season. 82-50 is my record, and my disclaimer is I started 5-10. So this is the runaway train, all aboard. going to run away with this, and I'm going to be the regular season champion.
All right, Alicia Fox, this is your captain speaking. No, I mean, like you said, you've done what you supposed to do. You came back. I slacked a bit. I took some risky calls and stuff, and you took advantage, and that's what you're supposed to do. I did.
That's what it was.
I did.
You diving me.
So now I have to rev it back up. So we disagreed on, I think, 5 or 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 games exactly. So if it goes my way, I could actually get back up 3. Okay. If I could actually win all the differences, the ones where we had our differences on, but they could also bring you further apart, and you could be up 9.
You could be tied, or you could get the lead again. So
That's
a lot
true.
can happen, in this week. And these are some tricky games this week. So some really tough matchups that we see across the board here. So just anxious to see how it all is going to play out as we get ready for this stretch run of the NFL season. Getting closer to Thanksgiving is when we start to see the teams emerge from the pack, and we kind of get a better picture of how things are going to look as far as the playoffs are concerned.
Right. So, like you said, all hearts and minds are clear. I think that wraps up Sports Moods. Before we end, once again, we have to appreciate DJ ROWELL for coming through and giving us that insight, as well as the fun questions, the little ideas for the NBA segment. It's always good to see, like I said, see our local people, but as well as see people who are productive and actually still try for their dreams. Mm-hmm. And that's something I think the community does less and less of, is actually really take support into people who have the dreams. Instead, we look at everything as a competition and feel, become envious of people who are doing stuff, and instead we should be trying to build each other up. We do come from a small, low-income, low-class town, or they call it historical city, and that's something that I personally say we suffer from. Mm-hmm. And so that's something that we need to do as a community, as a people in general. Mm-hmm. Something we need to just build and support one another for whatever the dream is, whether it be basketball, whether it be just 2 guys sitting in the living room trying to do a sports podcast. I agree. Whatever it is, I feel like the support is missing, and that's something we need. So for those who do listen, I see that most of our viewers this past week has come from Timmonsville, South Carolina. The other portion of it has come from Ashburn, Virginia. So we want you to know that we truly appreciate you for just wanting to listen to us. We do want feedback. We do want any comments, questions, concerns, whatever ideas you may have, any other sports that you want us to get into. Let us know. We appreciate everything, and we just want to build. We want to grow. We want to be your number one go-to in sports. Maybe ESPN may hire us before we actually get drafted by WWE as creative writers. Who knows?
Either one, I'll take either one.
Right, either one is going to be good for me. But I might have to go WWE, because I know last week I did challenge Brock Lesnar, so I need to start training. I didn't get a call from Brock Lesnar for obvious reasons. But I mean, just to be in WWE as creative writers is something I feel like.
You're going to be hearing from his advocate.
Yeah, I would hear from Paul Heyman first anyway. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, ladies and Christopher Moody, my name is Paul Heyman. So, but yeah, man, seriously, we truly appreciate all the support from everywhere. I've seen at times we've reached New York, Charlotte. Mm-hmm. Even Canada at one point, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, we truly appreciate it. D Moody, if you want to add anything.
Yeah, just basically follow us on Twitter at Sports Moods, and then on Instagram at It's Sports Moods.
Hold on, I think you said it both times.
I did say it both times. So let me back up. Follow us on Twitter at Sports Moods, and on Instagram at It's Sports Moods.
Definitely.
To kind of keep up with what we're doing, and what we have going on. Again, can't thank you guys enough for all the support, for listening to us. iHeartRadio has been a good outlet for us. So is Spreaker and YouTube.
Definitely.
Just everybody. Again, DJ ROWELL for just coming and joining us, being the very first guest ever on Sports Moods, and hopefully he won't be the last, and hopefully he'll come back and see us again. Just everyone who takes the time to listen to us, all the work that we put into this. We're doing this because we're very passionate about sports. So again, the feedback is welcome. Let us know what we can get better with, what you want to hear more of, what you liked about the podcast, whatever it is, man. Constructive criticism is the best way to get better at anything you do to be successful. So again, just thanks for all the support, listening each and every week, to all those from the different areas of the country that you may be in listening to us, and encourage a friend to listen to it. Pass it along. Word of mouth is also a good way to sponsor and support us as well. If you know somebody's really into sports and they love really good sports talk, or they love WWE, NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, put them onto our podcast and let them know that, hey, they do this every week, once a week, and hopefully we can get their fan base as well. So we're just trying to grow as a team, me and C Moody, just to try to give you guys a very good product each and every week. And thank you once again for all your support.
Definitely, man. So we will be back. But as of now, we recapped, like we said, NFL, college sports, WWE, MLB, NBA, had a guest. Second week, we've gone live. We appreciate the love. We are Sports Moods. C Moody here with
D Moody.
2 Moodies.
1 Duty.
Sports. See you guys next week.